Hello and welcome. You are through to Blackout Gaming TV. You are watching the Finland versus Sweden, the Highlander Nations Cup bronze final match. This is, as I said, Finland versus Sweden. There's 150 euros on the line tonight. The first map's going to be Badwater. Not Badwater, Upward. They're kind of, sort of, not similar at all. My name is Haydn. Joining me tonight is Ace. Ace, how are you doing?
I am doing splendidly. How are you doing yourself, sir?
I'm doing good as well. We have high GPS on the camera. As I said, we're going to be seeing Upward being the first map. It looks like Team Sweden are going to be on Team Red and Finland are going to be on Blue. So it's going to be pretty interesting to watch. As I said, 150 euros on the line. This is going to be pretty intense. We saw USA win the entire cup against France. So now we're going to see the third place decider. And as I said, 150 euros on the line. It's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be exciting to see exactly which players are going to be going huge. Ace, what are your predictions for tonight? Who are you going to be watching? And what are you expecting from this match?
Well, I think if you look at the history, it is a pretty much a Sweden win, if you will. Sweden is, of course, the favorite. I am hoping that we are going to see some proper resistance from Finland, clearly. And I'm going to be looking at what I tend to look at, the snipers. I like to see some serious headshots upward. The map that we are starting off is one of my favorite maps as well. I do like to start off as a sniper on this map myself. So I will be looking at that. And for you, what do you think is going to happen and who are you going to look at?
I already said this pre-game, but I'm definitely going to be looking at Sweden pretty closely. I don't know, I just like their roster a lot more. I feel like they're going to be pretty competent. Muffins, though, a Sucky Doing Works medic, is going to be playing medic for Finland. He's somebody to watch. He is a great medic. He's going to be able to dodge anything. And hopefully I don't jinx exactly how he plays tonight, but I feel like he's going to be somebody to watch. I want to be watching the snipers as usual. The engineers are always interesting on this map. I like sentry placement on this map, seeing exactly where the defensive team wants to hold. And it looks like Sweden's going to be defending first. Defending? Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty excited to see what comes out. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and this is, of course, the hashtag broadcast. We're gonna make it happen. I'm kind of excited. There's a question in chat, by the way. It's 150 euros for the entire team. If you know how to do math, it means you have, what, 20 euros, give or take? So that's a very nice dinner per person.
Yeah. But we did actually go live right there. I didn't see because my HUD is absolutely broken. But hello and welcome to Blackout Gaming TV. You are through to Finland versus Sweden. This is Blackout Gaming TV. My name is Haydn. Joining me today is Ace. We have high GPS on camera, and we're going to be seeing Team Finland on offense first, and we're going to see Sweden defensing it up. They have a sentry gun at the bottom of the cliff on the left-hand side right now. Pretty typical spot. See the dispenser next to the barrels. Very nice spot, and that's going to be able to cover kind of the house, the little area on the left. It's going to be watching the stairs, and that's going to be a nice place, especially equipped with that Wrangler. Which I presume he's going to be running, and we're going to be seeing Uber from both teams. You actually see Old Grandma on Black Box, so let's see if he can get anything as well. And as I say that, the round is going to be starting.
Exactly. Hopefully Finland can move out. Upward is always a little bit tricky to move out at the beginning, but it seems that the usual opening is currently going on. The sentry, as you said yourself, in the back as Blue just pushes up that bomb without any kind of contest until we get very close to that first point. We see Sweden finally putting in some aggression. The black box soldier, did I see that correctly, trying to make something happen on that heavy, I mean, but it doesn't seem to be happening as the sniper there on Blue gets a very nice headshot right there on the enemy sniper. So that sniper battle is going ham as Blue pushes up without little to no contest so far, but they are getting into range of that Wrangled level 3 sentry. This is where things may get a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, we saw a wave of suicides right there. I believe we saw a down man jump for the medic. I'm not really sure. I didn't actually get to catch that. But we see Saba. He's sitting at this side, and he's in a really nice place. He has that cloak and dagger. He isn't being seen, and he's been able to scout out everything. And we saw the Uber Force coming out from Team Sweden right there, and Saba's still behind, watching the engineer, seeing what's happening. So that force is going to put Team Finland in a great advantage right now. They have that 100% Uber, and they can call when they want to push right now. So going to be seeing shots. It's going to be placing that mini sentry close to the cart, just kind of denying anybody who comes near it, and the scout does take him down, but that's not too much of an issue. But Muffin's actually dropped to a backstab by Ashkan, sorry. I'm bad, I missed that, but that was great. That's just completely turned the tides, and this first point is going to be held for a while.
Yeah, that Uber force was brilliantly, however they were too scattered and they had too many casualties, they could not capitalize on that Uber advantage. And right now we're just waiting for the Ubers to be rebuilding. We see Finland having a lot of casualties as they are respawning, as well as being very scattered. They have to play a little bit more defensively as they are trying to move up to that level 2 century, because it's wrecking faces, and that's never a good thing. Right now the Uber advantage still going up to Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. They have 100% ready to rock. They can pretty much counter everything that Finland throws at them. And as I say that, it's not happening anytime soon. We see a nice backstab, hoping getting down there on that scout as he just casually walks away. They have an Uber force right there, close to the bomb. Is it gonna turn into anything though? Red taking down everybody inside. That heavy is going ham with his minigun, and it seems that Finland is being forced back into their spawn.
Yeah, definitely something to note right there is Muffins stayed alive, and as long as he doesn't drop again and he doesn't get backstabbed, that's putting a big advantage into Team Finland's hands. And we saw that Uber being forced out, you know, they got a lot of casualties, they got a lot of players. This first one has been held really well, but Muffins is going to be coming up to that 100% mark very soon. He's going to be in control again of exactly when he wants to push and where he wants to push from. Ashcan gets taken down very nicely, so Muffins has nothing to worry about. And the Uber comes in, but the Pyro is just completely wrecking everything, just pushing them back. The Uber is flashed around a bit. The Sentry goes down very late in that. Saba actually went down in that exchange. Only 3 players up for Team Sweden. And again, another note to make is Lil Kedda, I don't know how to pronounce names, but they stayed alive. They have that 100%, and now second, maybe somewhat easier to defend. The Engineer's going to be able to set up in a nice enough time. Zub is going to be able to take it out, though, and we see Rui just kind of peeking from the right hand side. He gets a nice headshot onto Mint, the Engineer, and takes down the Sentry. So this second point is pretty much Finland's, and they're going to be able to push straight through and make this cart just keep on rolling. There's quite a few casualties for Team Sweden, and that's just really going to put Finland in a really great place, and they're just going to allow them to walk through. Rui's doing a little bit of work with his sniper rifle as well, and now we're going to be seeing Team Finland just progressing straight through onto the third point.
Yeah, we saw some serious momentum on Finland's side right there. Can I take a moment to appreciate Jonas right there? Finland's, Pyro, he was doing some massive work right there, pushing the bomb over the first point. Also holding down that red Uber perfectly in that little chamber, of course, above the second point. Beautiful work right there. Right now, the Uber advantage is in favor of Finland, so they can keep their momentum if they want to. They're keeping that bomb pushed quite nicely with the scout and the sniper, of course. Beautifully done. We see the blue Uber coming out. However, the red Pyro is trying to make it work.
Oh, he almost got a blast off the side.
Yeah,
on the
almost.
backstab.
Yeah, it's going ham right now. Both teams are fighting as the bomb is currently standing still. We'll see what Sweden can do. The Sentry level 2 is currently up with the Wrangler, so they have to push through that as well. But right now it seems that Finland can keep on to their momentum as there is little to no contest directly onto that bomb.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you just look at Finland's players constantly, like, I know Muffins just actually went down, but if you just look at kind of the players for Finland, they're just generally in a better position. I mean, there's only 3 players up now for Sweden. It's the Pyro, the Engineer, and the Soldier. They got some respawns, that's nice, but the Engineer's playing onto the third point right now. You know, as that Sentry aggressive, if anything comes in and takes down Mint right now, then that's pretty much no defense onto last, and that's really putting Sweden in a bad position just because of kind of their positioning right now. You know, they're going down quite a bit. Now they have all players up. They're going to be able to defend this. They're getting a couple nice picks, and they're having some really nice holes. Like, the first hold was really nice. Second kind of pulled through pretty quickly, but that's kind of to be expected. You know, they couldn't get the players up, and they couldn't get anything sorted. And now we're going to be watching exactly who can make a play. You know, this is kind of going to go into a little bit of a stalemate, but let's see what happens. You know, we're going to see Saba. It should have really been capped, like Quell said in a STV chat. I mean, like, a lot of players were down. They just couldn't really push on it, which was kind of embarrassing for Finland, but they're still going to be able to try. Saba's going to be sat by the sentry gun, you know. The spy round this time, you know, they can just scout out the enemy medic. You know, they can see that Lilisitter actually has 100%, and as I say, that Muffins goes down with like 90-something%, so very close to Uber. That's really turning the tides, and Sweden's going to be able to hold this for much longer. But Saba's going to be able to sit there, you know, scout out how much percent the medic has, see where the sentry is. But as I said, nice Saba walks up onto the medic drop. Just need to get his sentry down, and that's going to allow Finland just to walk straight through this point.
Yeah, and then people say the cloak and dagger isn't all that useful. That was beautifully done by Saba. Sweden completely getting wiped to the floor and then some. This is immense. We see potential bomb imps from the demos. However, Actually, it is quite effective. The stickies are surprisingly effective against sentries, as currently Finland just keeping up their momentum once more to that third point, now working their way to that last point. We see no sentries up yet, no defenses yet built on this final point. So maybe if they keep their momentum, if they can keep that sentry, well, the engineer pressure, they might just have an opening and directly go for gold. We'll see though. Sweden has proven to be very dangerous in their defenses, as we see a blue Uber coming down. The medic gets split away from the heavy as he decides to go up with the demo. However, it doesn't turn into anything. We'll see how that turns out though, because Cedar right now currently having that Uber advantage, not quite 100% just yet, as they are desperately trying to build up that sentry. It goes down though by Jonas, the pyro going ham once more.
Muffins. Muffins got jibby jab face stabbed in the face twice, and then gets finished off with a pistol by Ashcan. Really nicely done right there. We see Lil Sitter going down with 80%. It's just Ashcan and Grandma up, and they're both extremely hurt right now. This has to be a round for Finland. They have their players. The engineer's just on the point. He gets headshot though. And I'm not really sure what's happening. I don't understand how they haven't capped. It's just the sniper up Zoob standing on the point, and they're going to be able to cap that in a 7-minute 30 time. Not a bad time, but it is definitely something that can easily be beaten, and it can also easily be defended. So let's see exactly what happens when the tides are turned. Sweden's going to be attacking, Finland's going to be defending. Let's see how Finland want to set this up. Let's see where the engineer wants to set up, and let's just see the general layout of defense, where the players are going to be standing, and see exactly how Finland want to approach this. Because 7 minutes 30, it's a decent time, but it's also a time that can easily be beaten, so it's going to be pretty difficult. And it looks like all the suicides are at the bottom of the cliff, so we're going to see generally the same sentry spot. It looks like it's a bit further to the left. It's going to provide a little bit more cover from that house, and it's going to kind of reduce kind of the spam from the stairway, but it's also going to be less damage done. You know, it's kind of a high risk, high reward kind of thing. So let's see how that pays off for Team Finland as well, as we go for 20 seconds left in the setup time. It's going to be interesting to see exactly if there's any bombs coming out, and let's see exactly how the first respawn or the first wave of suicides kind of roll out.
Yeah, I did find it a little bit interesting though that Sweden was a little bit slow on the defense on that last point. Of course, that kind of lost in the game. But then again, it's a very beatable time, but they have to be quick. Sweden right now on blue, of course, and as red is currently Finland, for those who are wondering. And we pretty much see almost a mirror match. The center is a little bit further ahead, or further in, I should say. But it seems that Finland is directly putting up the aggression, seeing what's up there, but
sentry down.
Sentry is already down.
Oh,
wow, I
home
didn't even
wrecker.
see that.
Oh no, he got stopped. I didn't realise that the pyro had a home wrecker right there, but Ashcan getting a really nice step onto the engineer and actually stabbing him for a little bit, so that just kind of provided a little bit of room for him to work with, and maybe a little bit of pressure, and allowed a bit of pressure from his team, but a lot of his team actually went down as well, so he couldn't really get too much done right there. Both Ubers are actually on 100. Lil Sid is going to be Ubering in right now, but the pyro is going to be able to counter Uber and just air blast them away, and as that happens, the engineer is going to be turning up, grabbing his Wrangler and being able to do work. Rib's going to be forced out of this pretty fast. And they're going to be falling back to that cart. The cart's pretty close to them, you know. They're not pushing it too far. They can use it as kind of a healing dispenser right now. They don't need to push it as far around the corner as possible. They can use it to get the heal, so the medic isn't completely relied on fully. But Rib's taking a lot of damage right now, and we saw Lil Seda, he actually went down. Muffins has about a 50% advantage right now, so it's just kind of going to be seeing who can get the advantage. And with that sentry still up, it doesn't look like it's going to be Sweden at all yet, because Sweden, I mean, they need to get the Muffins down and they need to get this sentry. And as I said, Ashcan tried to sap the sentry. He got it, but the sentry also killed him at the same time, and that sapper got removed. So it just looks like Finland are in a good position right now.
And they are certainly strong. You have to admit, Pybro, best bro, as Sweden right now desperately trying to push through the defenses, but they are working on that sentry, but it seems that Finland is not giving up. Red Uber being popped, they're going in ham, taking down Little Cedar. The medic bites the dust as they are able to make some work. Really, the stickies are devastating. It seems that blue right now is unable to push forward if they can't get that sentry down, but it does go down. The Sepper gets through. Wonderful job right there by the blue spy, but he does pay it with a price. Is it worth it? I would say definitely. Right now, blue pushing the bomb finally over that first point. Sweden gaining some momentum if they can get out of this corner, but Finland is not having it. They are holding it, well, proficiently with everything they've got so far. They're not even backing up just yet because they know they can hold this. The sentry is being rebuilt, level 2 right now, as though the stickies are coming out, and as I say that, it seems they are finally pulling back to prepare for that second point.
Yeah, definitely. We saw the blue sniper right there. I don't know if anybody else called that, but it missed like 3 headshots onto the medic that should have been headshots, but just 1, which is really upsetting. But now Muffins is going to be able to grab up to that 100%. Uber, Lil Cedar is going to be having that only 10%, so it's going to slow down this push a lot. And with only 4 minutes, closer to 5 minutes really, left on the clock, it's going to be pretty close. If Muffins drops, then that could really turn the tides, but right now it's looking really strong in Sweden's favour. No, Finland's favour, yeah, Finland's. So now we're just going to be seeing the heavy peeking from the top hand room. He's going to be trying to do as much damage as he can, but he does get shut down pretty quickly, and that was Zebasai actually going down right there.
That heavy has been doing work, though. He has been able to keep that sentry from being built for a very long time. And because of this, they are able to right now get very close to the second point, and they get it. No! It's a slither! It's less than a slither! The skin of your teeth would think that's fat. That's very close, as it seems that they are actually just, well, casually pushing back red. And
yeah, Lil Cedar got forced by Zoob right there. And that was really nice. Now, Muffin's going to be able to grab that Uber as well, which is something that's important, you know? They're going to allow this point to them, but I mean, there's not really many people around, and Muffins is going to be holding up top with his heavy. Now, his heavy's taking a lot of damage, or her heavy, I think it is. Basically, the heavy's taking a lot of damage. Muffins is trying to stay aggressive with them, but at the same time, they don't have a team to back them up. So, right now, we're just looking at Finland's positioning, and it's a little bit off. It is kind of sloppy, but let's see exactly what happens.
Pyro going ham on the medic, getting Blair. Oh, so close, he almost air blasted the medic off the cliff. That was wonderful. He does go down to the scout, though, and the heavy follows as well. Once again, Sweden cleaning up quite nicely, and they're pushing on the bump, well, further towards the 3rd point.
Yeah, this is just something you need to take into note. Like, if you look at Sweden's numbers, just... it wasn't the same for the last round, but it just looks like they're being able to shut down the defenses. Both teams have been able to show they can shut down the defensive really quickly. Now, Rue's going to be going down, and the Sentry actually goes down as well. Now, I'm going to be interested to see if Shorts actually decides to fall back. Yeah, it looks like he is actually forced out of there. There's no way he could have really set up. So Shorts going to be rotating around onto last. It looks like both engineers have been trying to use the Sentry there just kind of to deal off damage and try to kind of slow down the push a bit more and not really give them third for free. But it is also hindering their last performance. And now there's almost 3 minutes left on the clock, and it's just one more point to push with Lil Cedar using that Uber coming into the top. I believe he got forced pretty early, or else that was just a bad Uber. And now they're just waiting up top. They can't really get any picks. They're too far away. Downman spamming from the left-hand side, but Shots has a level 2, and it's just shutting down anybody right now. So that's going to bring the clock to 2 minutes 20. Lil Cedar's got about 60% disadvantage. Muffins is going to have that advantage, and he's going to be able to maybe make some work with that. Muffins is holding up top with the engineer, though. Making sure that they're not vulnerable. You know, they're going to be able to get away. They're going to be able to rush back into spawn if necessary. Shots' Sentry actually runs out of ammo, though. He's taking so much spam. The cart is so close to being pushed onto.
Red Uber
it's just a heavy
well.
demo. Yeah, the Uber had to come out to try to block that. It's just only 3 players up. The engineer gets backstabbed by Ashcan, though. Ashcan's doing a lot of work this game. And now it's just going to be Red frantically trying to defend this. I mean, there's 1 minute 50 left on the clock. That was the longest 30 seconds ever. And now we're just going to be seeing exactly what happens. I mean, it's so close. Like, as you were saying earlier with your incredible metaphors about slither of teeth and stuff, it was just... It's close, you know, it's literally just sneezing on the cart. Sniper going down to Napper, I don't even know what just happened there. And now Ubers are around equal. It's just going to be whoever gets the pick advantage and whoever can push into last, but there's only 1 minute 20 left on the clock.
Yeah, if that level 3 sentry does go up, they are definitely going to have a bigger problem. They have to find an opening right now, as they are still not in need of an Uber. As Muffin has gone down right there as well. They have the complete Uber advantage right now. This could be it for Sweden. They have 100% ready to rock and go. They are on the high ground. This could be it. The scout trying to make something happen already. Is he going to do it on his own? No? Yes, he almost does it. Tries to double jump to touch the bomb one more time. But it looks like his team has his back, or his front in this case, and does pick it up within the time limit. Well done, Sweden. And props to the self-sacrifice of that scout.
That was a pretty solid defense right there. It lasted for a while. They were able to get into the position, but that last little push was just too much for them. And as I was saying earlier about the numbers, it was just kind of, you just saw the teams dead for a lot of it. So it was kind of a little weird. So we're going to be going into the second round. So the first round, I believe, is going to be going to Sweden. And let's see what happens next. It's going to be interesting to see how you can adapt, because the first round is a bit iffy. You don't know how the other team's going to be playing. But now this round, you kind of understand. It's going to be whoever's the most dynamic, who can mix up their strats, who can change everything that they've just done to something different and still make it work. And that's going to be interesting to see. I'm not really sure who's going to be on which team. It looks like Sweden are on red team now. But I think it changes at the same time. I don't know. Let's see exactly what happens, but it's what you're expecting from the next round.
I'm still expecting Sweden to go big, to be honest. Finland did pretty damn well. There's no doubt about it, but Sweden did even better. If they can keep this up, if they can keep up the momentum, it's, well, like I predicted at the very beginning, before the match even started, it's gonna be highly in favor of Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, just from that game, it was close, it was very close at that point, but, I mean, Sweden just managed to come out on top, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. Sweden are on the defensive side of things. I'm not sure if that's going to be staying that way, but I still feel like they're going to be keeping going. They're going to be able to keep going, they're going to be able to try do work, and I don't know, I feel like Sweden are going to be having another great game. It's going to be interesting to see, though.
Yeah, right now we're just waiting for everybody to get ready and sorted. But yeah, I do find it to be rather interesting though, because both teams have the same issues to a certain extent. It's all that defense. Once that first defense on that first point goes down, they have never been fully able to repair their entire defense on another point. So there's definite aggression constantly. It is really impressive to see, because Finland did really well trying to break through Sweden's defense, but so did Sweden on Finland's defense. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a different position of the century. Maybe we'll see a completely different defense style. That's even a possibility on this particular map, because they constantly were breaking through, and both teams have to do something about that.
Yeah, definitely. And as you were speaking, the second round did actually come into play, and it's going to be Team Sweden on the offense and Finland on defense. So Finland are going to be on the red team and Sweden are on the blue team, for anybody who was wondering. We're going to see the Sentry, again, shots, a little further to the left than you usually see, which is kind of interesting. The dispenser's in a nice place. Again, that's a great place. Let's see what happens this time. It seems somewhat similar. It's kind of dependent on where they position their players, where they want to be holding. It looks like they're going to be going for the same kind of the textbook hold that we're used to, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens now, see what can get done, I guess. Saba did some really nice work last time. Let's see what happens with that. Ashkan's doing some really great work, and I'm going to be watching Ashkan. He takes a lot of spam out of the door, though, and that's going to slow him down a little bit, but let's see what happens. The Pyro goes down, and Ashkan and Zebasai, and that's 3 players down for Sweden. I mean, of course, they just wanted to go for the first wave, but, I mean, it was still good. They still managed to get a little bit of work down as well. So I'm going to be guessing about a 1 minute 30 hold for the first point.
We'll definitely see as we are getting closer to that critical mass right now. That bomb is pushing forward as we see a nice headshot there coming on to Zoop. He drops rather aggressively. That's a soldier down. Could they push with that? I sincerely doubt it. The heavy tries to go ham. The Uber has been forced. Both Ubers been forced, but it's a heavy animatic against a pyro animatic, and that air blast is just too damn tasty. However, the bomb is still moving forward though. The pyro is trying to desperately make it stop. However, he does go down. The sentry is still up and running, but the casualties are piling up. Will it be enough to hold this point? They are keeping their momentum quite aggressively. Sweden is not backing down. The sentry goes down and the point has been captured. Moving on to that second point right now, as Blue keeps up their momentum and takes out everybody that says hello around the corner.
Yeah, I say this a lot, but Muffins went down and Lil Cedar stayed up. It's something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration, and not many people pay attention to. But 70% advantage from Lil Cedar. They're on offense. They're going to be able to grab that Uber first, have that advantage. The sentry's completely been shut down right now. Shots can't do anything. The pressure coming in from Sweden right now is insane. They have a mini sentry, they have a heavy really close to their spawn. Every time they spawn, they're just going to be shut down, and that Uber is there. Now, Muffins is coming up to 40% as well, with Lil Cedar on 100. So there's that big advantage. They're going to be able to do work. Now, we see a bit of spy work, some people trying to do stuff, but it's not happening. Sweden are just shutting them all down, and they're going to be walking on to third already. Old Grandma actually gets taken down by the heavy medic combo Looks like Nijun actually goes down as well, the Pyro. So now, you know, 2 players down for Sweden is not that big of an issue. The Uber was kind of to save people's lives rather than get anything done, so it wasn't really worth mentioning too much. Muffins is going to be grabbing that Uber now though, and that's going to be the solid defense that we need to see. And we're going to be seeing where Shots sets up. Shots is setting up far back on the 3rd point as per usual, and he's going to be able to put up his dispenser, keep his players alive, and slow down this push. A lot of engineers really don't know whether to just fall straight back to the last or try put up a sentry and keep this alive. Keeping the sentry here, I mean, it's going to slow down the push a lot. It's going to waste their time. And if you can keep up that sentry and bring it back to last, that's perfect. And Shots actually manages to take down Ashcan right there. Rib actually goes down as well. So this is just great work by both teams. And just kind of waiting for Sweden to push in.
Yeah, Little Cedar dropping very low every single time. He doesn't pop the... Oh, he drops! He drops! Headshot by Rao! Wow, he drops! The entire possibility of pushing through this has gone down the drain. Beautiful headshot there by that sniper from Finland. Props to you, sir. This means that Finland is going to be able to rack up that time to hold down this 3rd point like, well, a group of Finns that knows what they're doing, as Sweden is currently just dropping off the map. Right now, Finland has the ability to push them back or just to stick around and hold their defense. It's all up to them. We see a 100% Uber advantage on Muffins, of course. So even if they find themselves in a tricky position, they have the freedom to use it, because there's only a 30% Uber advantage right now on Little Cedar, as he did drop, as I mentioned. So right now, it's currently just waiting for that Uber on either Sweden so they can push in, or maybe Finland is going to go hyperly aggressive.
Ashcan drops the medic. I was like, hey, Ashcan has 0 points right now. I wonder what he's going to do. I click onto Ashcan. He jumps down the stairs. He clicks on the medic's back. The medic's going to be going down. Muffin's going from 100 to 0. And now we're going to be seeing exactly what happens. I mean, Sweden, they're going to be feeling pretty confident. They have 9 of their players up. Little Cedar also has that Uber. They need to play this really carefully. They need to grab this point and keep going. Let's just see a heavy dropping down behind it. He's going to be focusing on to Rib, but Rib manages to take him down. The teleport's really aggressive as well. Going to be able to keep his players coming up to this point. They need to cap this quicker, or they needed to cap it quicker, and they needed to try to start working on to last fast enough, but they just weren't fast enough. They only have times 1 on the point right now, so even though that drop was absolutely phenomenal and won them this point, it is going to be a bit of a slower time than really I'd expect. But the first 2 points capped in 1 minute 44. The 3rd point comes to 4 minutes 30, and let's see how long it's going to be taking for pushing on to last. Little Cedar's only just started healing, and Muffins is on 40% right now, so this could be a little bit of an advantage that could turn the game. But we actually see a sentry still going up on 3rd.
Yeah, those were some beautiful medic drops on both teams. It's so crucial if you see that right now. Sweden being pushed back once again. The casualties are a tad bit too high. They also don't have the Uber advantage, so they have to play it a little bit safe as long as that sentry is being built as well, if they can't get it down. However, they are looking at a potential flanking position right here. It seems that it may work out in their favor if they can push through. And it certainly does, like the heavy against heavy. Well, the heavy seems to be winning. The sentry is about to go down. It goes down courtesy of old Grandma. That's very typical, and right now Sweden has picked up their momentum, trying to go for that last point. Since that sentry just went down, there is no defense build up on that final point. So it seems that Finland has to defend that engineer if they want that. But however, Muffins does have the Uber advantage right now, 100% against 30, well, almost 40% by Little Cedar. He's almost dying as well. It seems that the Uber just got forced right there. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but it has been forced. They're pushing everybody from Sweden back away from that bomb. And hopefully with this as well, buying some time for the engineer. But it seems that the Swede... Oh no! Beautiful headshot right there as well. No, it's not a headshot. That was a body shot on Little Cedar. Close enough, but not really. He did drop though. Wow, people are dropping left and right. It seems a little bit too chaotic to be true, to be honest.
It's to an extent kind of sloppy. It's just kind of a lot of frags, a lot of DMing, but it is also pretty interesting as well. So we're going to see the red heavy is roaming around up top. You know, he has his medic and his pyro near him. He's feeling pretty secure. The cart's been pushed just underneath him, so he's in a really great position just kind of to drop down if he needs to. But right now he's got a solid hold, and I don't think he's going to be required to. Rue's going to be peeking straight through main. They're looking at the heavy, the medic, and the pyro, and just looking at any shots that he can take, but he also gets counter-sniped as well, something that he didn't really consider. Jonas is going to be able to take down old Grandma that was actually on the point, and he's going to be roaming around trying to take down the engineer and the sniper, but he gets taken down by Rib's stickies right there, which is really solid. And now around the equal Ubers, I mean, there is about a 20% advantage, but I don't think it's anything they can really act upon. they're going to be needing to take down that sentry really well. And I mean, Ashkan's been trying, and he's been able to kind of like sap the sentry, but he hasn't been able to take down shots too much yet. But the Uber actually came in and going to be able to try to do some work. If Muffins goes down, there we go, Muffins goes down to Zebasai's minigun, and they're going to be able to stack up to the point right now. The sentry runs out of ammo as well. Shots went down. The sentries went down as well. It's just the scout up, and this is going to be a round to Sweden. They're going to be able to push this cart in the time of 7 minutes 20, about a 10-second improvement from last time. So let's see exactly what happens this time. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, vigilant attempt by that scout, the last one standing, trying to buy as much time as he could, but he did drop, of course. The entire blue team was overwhelming him. That was pretty intense. Sweden found an opening, they capitalized on it. Well done, Sweden. Right now the tables are turned, though. Can they hold the defense longer, or will they get rolled? We'll see how this happens. But right now the defense seems a little bit stronger than previously. The sentries are staying alive quite a lot longer than, well, the last couple of matches, to say the least. So there's definitely some changes going on in that beautiful defense on, of course, that team of Finland. Yeah. Right now. Sorry?
We're seeing the sentry really cool. Sorry, I play NG. I like looking at
go ahead, sir. Go ahead, take it away.
But we saw he was peeking it a little bit further to the right-hand side, and it's facing relatively towards the staircase. It's going to be watching up to the top. It's going to be looking into the house, and after it reaches that 180 degrees, it goes like 30 degrees slower, so it takes longer to turn or something. I don't know. Basically, all I know is it's going to take a little bit longer to watch that left-hand side. So we're going to see a scout, I believe, peeking around that left-hand side. Going to be looking. We saw actually shots going down straight away at that gate to the red sniper, which is kind of interesting. We actually see Ashkan is going to be walking up behind the heavy, and the heavy's going to be going down to Ashkan. We see a body shot onto the demo as well. So just a lot of players going down, and nothing even really forcing onto the medic. It doesn't even look like there's any kind of pressure onto Lil Cedar. He's sat comfortably into the house. And we're going to see the pyro. He's on the car. He's going to be trying to do some work, and we're just going to see just players pushing this car around to the same place. It looks like they're probably going to go. I mean, Saba's taking down the old grandma as well, and they're going to be trying to push this car around the same place. You know, they don't just want to try push it as far as possible around this corner. They kind of want to use it for health at the same time, which is generally a nice thing to do, because like Jonas is on it right now, but if they push it too far around, they can't use it for health. And right now we see Lil Cedar. He's forced because of the heavy going down to such low health. He's going to have to keep him alive, just kind of pressure out Finland right now, but that's a great advantage for Muffins. Muffins is going to have to keep that Uber for as long as possible, and they're going to want Muffins dead as quickly as possible now.
Yeah, they may get a little bit trigger happy though on that Uber, especially considering the Uber drops that we have seen in the past, in the previous match, of course. We'll see, however, if they capitalize on this could be very it. We see the spy trying to go for it. He does pop the Uber, and they might be looking for that level 3 sentry. We see the heavy trying to happen. The pyro, however, on the red team, vigilantly air blasting. Beautiful job. The sentry stays alive. The Uber has been negated simply by blasts of air, and right now it's pretty much back to that old-fashioned waiting for the Uber, waiting for somebody to overextend. Now, Finland has been overextended quite aggressively so far in the past as Zoop goes down, courtesy of Ashkan. They lose a soldier, which is never really a good thing, as another soldier drops there courtesy of the minigun. He got some, well, he got some air. He got quite high, if you will. However, the sentry, even though it's damaged, no, it goes down. Body shots for days. This could be the moment for Finland to push through. They could capitalize on that. They do have the Uber, but Muffins has it ready now as well. The Uber has been forced for red. They are going in. Will they counter it? Nope. It seems that, wow, blue is completely forced out of the entire way, and red is going to be able to hold this first point. Even though the sentry went down, they did have a kind of a disadvantage, but it seems that they got lucky, or it's skill. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Did Muffins drop just there? I didn't see an Uber from blue. I saw the red Uber, but then I went to go see where its mint was setting up, and he's gone to second, but I don't know if that was a drop from Muffins. I'm not really sure, but whatever the case may be, we see its mint. You know, he's going to be able to set up on that top. He's going to be placing his teleport in the top house, which is great for letting his heavy and his medic just kind of hold nicely up in that house. Because if you look at upward pushes, it's just generally through that window and through that house is the main area where the spam comes in, the sentry goes down, and just the push works. That was a really solid defense onto first, by Sweden. You know, they wasted about 3 minutes of the time, and it can all turn. We saw it last game, but it's going to be interesting. Muffins went down again. Lil Cedar, I think, used Uber. I'm not really sure, but again, not really too many casualties coming out. You know, you're not really noticing it that much. It's just kind of keep the players alive. Make sure they're not just wasting their players. And I like that about Muffins and Lil Cedar. You know, they're not afraid of just using the Uber just to keep the players alive. They don't have to do it to try and get some insane, crazy kills. They like to just keep their players alive. But now we're going to be seeing Saba Saba. He's going to be making his way towards the century, you know, scouting out the area, looking to try and get a pick if he can. And we're just going to be seeing exactly what happens. I mean, Ashkan's down, you know, Finland don't really have that much to worry about, but they're just in a general disadvantage, you know. Their demo just got thrown straight across the map, and he got crossbowed. Was that a yeah, he got crossbowed. I'm not even sure what just happened, but let's just say this is just going to be a bit of a stalemate. You know, we're going to be seeing something where Lil Cedar goes down at 50 and 95%, and just everybody's down from Sweden.
Yeah, stalemate, I don't think so. Finland has a fire under their precious behinds, and they are not giving up. However, the difference on this particular point right now as compared to the other matches is that the level 3 sentry is up. Will it be enough to defend though? Because that scout is crouching, the sticky's getting it though. It's so close, look at that bomb, it's practically on that point. That scout must have been a little bit salty about that. Sweden holding on for dear life on this final point. They seem to be able to get their defenses back in order. The heavies, the medics are all back in action. The Uber advantage is currently in Cedar, but it's pretty minimal. It doesn't really mean all that much right now. However, Sweden just coming back from getting so close to losing that second point. That was phenomenal. That was quite extreme to see right there. And right now we're just also waiting for overextending behavior, possibly by Finland, or an Uber advantage, which is currently in favor for Sweden. So we'll see what happens in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of an advantage. I just feel like Sweden are really solid. I mean, there's 2 minutes left on the clock. It's highly improbable that Finland are going to be able to push this all the way to last in that time. I mean, Sweden just having solid defenses. Their first hold was insane. Shots manages to take down the sniper right now, and it's just a really great defense from Sweden. They're being able to get the picks. They're in the right position. They're getting the medics so much. Muffins hasn't really had that many Ubers, and the majority of the Ubers that I've seen have really just either been dropped, so nothing really too drastic. And now Muffins, I believe, is up in this top window, yeah, on 90%, and they need to use this as quick as possible because the red Uber came out. They tried getting as much damage done as possible, but now we see the Uber dropping down, and we're going to be seeing the sentry go down, and just any picks they can really pick up. But really, 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. This is just another round of Sweden.
Yeah, I do have to agree with that. Right now, you have to imagine the second point has not been captured yet. Even if they were to push the bomb directly to the final point with no breaks, I don't think they would have enough time to actually get there. So right now, I think that Finland is starting to realize this very fact, and they are just either giving up, morally speaking, or they're just trying to DM, because I feel like their aggression has a little bit softened up, if you will. I feel like they have given up. Their spirit may be broken, or they're just waiting it out because they know that with less than a minute on the clock, they will never have a chance to get victorious out of this. But right now, of course, that defense on Sweden is nothing to be talking lightly of. They did manage to get the defenses up, and it has showed as well. And right now, Sweden just pushing Finland back as if it is nothing right now. We see them completely... Well, they can't even touch the bomb, not even once right now, as Sweden just decimates them once they get close.
Yeah, we just see Sweden. They're playing really aggressively. They're being able to shut down any kind of Finland push. I mean, they're using the Ubers, the game Muffins. It's just Sweden are in a better position constantly. So let's see if that changes on Badwater. Badwater is going to be the second map. Maybe Finland are going to be able to bring it back on the second map of Badwater. But really, Finland is just going to feel disheartened about this map because it's just pretty... like the first round was close, this one was nowhere as near, and I just feel like Finland are going to be feeling pretty shitty about themselves, just not really going to be feeling good about this game. So let's see if that changes in Badwater. I don't know, I just feel like Sweden is still going to be able to pick it up in Badwater.
It is a bit unfortunate though. Like if you, for example, look at the DMs and the dominations, it is clear to see that Sweden has the upper hand, well, in DMing, and well, it's a big part of playing TF2, isn't it? Killing the other team. So we'll see how that works out indeed on Badwater. It's of course a completely different vibe. It's the same game mode, but different environment, different playstyles, different tactics. We'll see what happens. But as it stays like this, I feel like the defenses are going to be dropping down quite aggressively for Finland if Sweden keeps up their aggression. If Finland doesn't get back their aggression immediately, they won't be able to break through defenses. And that's kind of what that's kind of what I'm really expecting. What are you are you expecting anything specifically, or pretty much the same thing?
Nothing specifically. I just feel like Sweden, like Finland can sit there and, they can look back at what did we do wrong? What can we act upon? What can we change to make this better? But at the same time, I just feel like Sweden, they're going to know that Finland are going to try counter everything. And this is a new map, it's going to change. They're going to have a rough idea of how Sweden are going to play. But Finland, at the same time, they're going to be kind of curious about the dynamics of this map. They're not going to know exactly how the enemy team's going to be playing. Like the same rule kind of applies for both teams. So we're going to be seeing Badwater. Maybe it'll be closer. I don't know. I just feel like Sweden, they're still going to be able to pick it up. I just feel like Sweden, they're going to know what they need to do. They're going to be able to use kind of the mind games and kind of Finland being disheartened about that first game to their advantage. And I just feel like Sweden are just going to be able to pick this game up non-stop and probably pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably what's going to happen, because there's also a bit of a mind game going on, of course. It was very close the first round. Second round was a bit of a steamroll, and I don't know, after a steamroll, would you still feel motivated? I don't know. Well, of course you are, but would you be still as motivated as you were before? It's a slippery road.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's just kind of the idea of, that first round was close, but that one was awful. And it depends on the players on the team. Some of them will play and feel really disheartened, but some others will still feel like really confident. Like, yeah, let's have a massive comeback. But I don't know. I just feel like Finland, they're just going to be annoyed more than anything. They're just not going to be wanting to play. That was pretty harsh from Sweden, just being able to completely shut them down constantly. And I presume this is going to be the same. I mean, Sweden's going to be on the defensive side of things. They're going to let Finland set the time, and then they can go ahead and try and beat that. But yeah, no, I just feel like Finland, they're just in no position to be able to beat Sweden right now. Sweden are just playing top notch, and they're being able to get kills and just basically get the advantage and use it.
Yeah, but it's of course not a lost cause. Let's be honest here. We saw that Finland has the power. They have the strength to carry forward and win, but they do have to pull something out of their Finnish top hats and make it happen. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen, technically speaking. There's no way around it, because if Sweden keeps this up, it's gonna get rough, and we are in for a rough ride.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I just feel like Sweden, like, I've said this over and over already, but I just feel like Sweden, they're gonna know what they need to do, They're gonna know, like, how Finland are gonna be playing. They're gonna be able to act towards that, and they're just gonna be able to win. In short, like, this is just me calling it. This is opinion. Finland may prove me wrong, and they may completely roll Sweden in 4 minutes, and it'll be really exciting to watch. But I don't know. I just feel like Sweden, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They're going to be feeling confident about who they're up against, and I just feel like Sweden are going to be able to take this one.
Yeah, we have to agree. And right now, we're just waiting for both teams to settle in, to warm up on this particular map. They're just basically DMing for funsies right now, as you do. Make sure that everybody is connected, everybody is stable. So I hope you guys are enjoying this ETF2L Highlander Nations Cup bronze final. Remember, guys, Finland versus Sweden, and the winner takes the third place, as well as 150 euros for the team. So what would you do if you had a small portion of that money? I would go and buy. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of money you can actually do with it. It's not like, if it was 150 euros per person, it would be a lot more interesting, I think, because then you have a lot more options to buy stuff.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's 150 euros for the team. Maybe get a nice takeaway after this is all done. That'd be pretty interesting. I'd love to do that after a game, but it'll be fun to see exactly what happens with this team. I want Finland. Like, there's a part of me that's like Finland to get some insane comeback. I want to see Rue get some insane drop at the spawn doors. I just want to see a massive roll and see Sweden just completely crushed. Just because I'd find that really interesting after the results of the first game. But at the same time, it's like Sweden, I mean, just looking at their lineup, looking at their players, looking at how they've been playing the first game, and just kind of from experiences of how I felt after being crushed and how I felt when we've done so well, I just feel like it's got to be Sweden's game.
Yeah, I think that everybody pretty much agrees on that very fact, but we are but mere two casters. What does the chat think? What does the chat think that is gonna happen? Is it gonna be a true steamroll, or is Finland gonna be able to play better on Badwater? Perhaps Badwater was one of their maps that they are a little bit stronger on in comparison to Upward, who knows? I'm not entirely sure what the chat thinks. We'll see in a second. There's of course a bit of a delay between the stream and chat, unfortunately. It looks like we are getting closer to starting, possibly, maybe a minute or two away.
Yeah, I heard a ready noise, so I'm going to assume that it's probably going to be starting soon. And everything just paused, and there we go. So welcome, you are through to Blackout Gaming TV. This is the second map of the ETF2L Highlander Nations Cup, Finland versus Sweden. This is the Bronze Cup, fighting for the third place. On Payload Badwater. The first map was Payload Upward, and we saw Sweden take both rounds of that, and they were going to be able to take that first map. So now we're going to be seeing who can take Badwater, and I'm feeling pretty confident on the side of Sweden, but we're going to be seeing its mint probably setting up in the exact same position that we always see ANG set up, just right up on that cliff. It's just kind of the textbook place. There really is nowhere else to set it up, and he's going to be able to have that. That's going to be pretty solid, and I want to see exactly how Team Finland, which are on the blue team, and Sweden on the defense side of things on the red team, I want to see how Finland do actually manage to try attack this.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it doesn't matter who wins. They're pretty much from the same place anyway, right? Finland, Sweden, tomato, tomato. And I just pissed off the entire nation. Alright! I hope you guys are ready because we are about to start. Of course, it's Finland in blue, Sweden on red. And we'll see how this... Oh, nice headshot coming out there from Russian Father on row. It's a sniper battle and he just lost it. It seems, though, that right now both teams are just spamming the usual stuff, trying to see an overextend, and old grandma drops, courtesy of the minigun. And it looks like the casualties are slowly piling up. This time for Finland, this might pose a little bit tricky, as they are still pushing quite vigilantly, though. The tunnel is not all that defended at the beginning, of course. Usually it's always the end, as the sentry with the Wrangler is built. So right now, all the casualties that they are carrying don't mean all that much. But if they don't get that level 3 sentry down, they may never get that first point.
The Uber got forced, by the way. The demo just jumped up, threw stickies all over the floor, and Little Cedar had nothing other than clicking that right mouse button. So Sabasaba's going to be sat on that little hut at the back, just going to be watching the sentry, looking at the medic, just being able to scout out the area. And he's going to be able to do a little bit of work if he gets an opportunity. But right now, he doesn't need to. Muffins has that Uber. And if Finland decide to go soon, then they're going to have that advantage. Unless Muffins drops now, where Ash can jump round. I thought he'd get him. That was some bullshit backstab. But he didn't. Shots is going to be peeking through the tunnel. You know, they're going to be trying to peek this tunnel a bit.
Sorry.
Oh, Muffins dropped. That's the thing.
Yeah, that was rough as well. That sniper also doing work against the enemy sniper, if you will, row, dropping constantly because he's losing his head, courtesy of course, the Russian father, if you will. Right now it seems that Sweden is going to be holding this first point quite effectively. That level 3 sentry hasn't even been touched yet, at least not aggressively, not something that you have to call the police over. And it seems that Finland right now is in a bit of a pickle. They're trying a different angle, but that might also cause any kinds of issues as Muffins drops again. Wow, this is not good. This is the opposite of good. This is actually quite bad. Sweden, their defense is immense, and it looks like Finland is not gonna push through this at any time.
Yeah, if you just look at how Sweden are playing, their positioning is great. You know, they have the sniper on the left, he's just peeking through. He's going to be able to call anything that leaves that left door, and he's going to be able to maybe get a pick every so often. And we see the sentry, like the sentry's going to be able to do damage all the way across the map with that Wrangler over towards that mini sentry is where the sniper's actually watching. Plus the sentry itself can protect itself by spamming at that tunnel, and right there he got 2 kills. And we see the heavy medic combo. They're going to be able to peek him around this corner, any push from up top with Little Cedar just not dying right now and being able to stay alive. Just any push is completely shut down, and this is what we're going to be seeing for a while. I mean, there's 1 minute 46 left on the clock. I assume Finland are going to be able to take this at some point, but it's going to be a slow time. I mean, we see a lot of Finland in the tunnel right now. You know, they're going to have that 85%. The Uber actually comes into them, and they're going to be able to try and get Muffins. Muffins get away, so I can almost guarantee that unless something awful happens right now, Muffins and the rest of Finland are going to be able to walk into this point, take down the sentry and just shut it down. But the spy's jumping round, but the Uber comes in just a little bit too early. The sentry's going to be spammed out very quickly, but it still hasn't gone down. The demo man just completely gets thrown around, and the sentry is still up. Muffins went down, the engineer gets shot. That was a really nice shot from Rue though, and the sentry goes down just a little bit after, but that was insane on how that sentry stayed alive for so long. The sentry just took so much focus fire and nothing could get done with that, and the cart still hasn't been pushed to the point.
Yeah, it was a vigilant defense by Sweden, but it looks like right now Finland is going to be able to finally push that bomb over to that second point. That was one hell of a defense. I am thoroughly impressed, to say the least. Right now Finland has to move up to that second point, though it seems that Sweden is currently still setting up on that famous high ground there. They're trying to prevent it.
Rib jumping up, trying to do some work. He got the medic though. Oh no, the heavy got the medic, never mind. Rib was jumping up, he threw stickies all over trying to shut down that setup. He got the engineer, but the sentry is still kind of there, and that's going to be able to do a little bit of work. Maybe if the engineer can get back up to it, but it is unlikely. The medic's going to be able to respawn now though. Muffins just isn't building really that fast at all, you know. Not being able to get that Uber anytime sooner. And we see a little Cedar, I mean, they're being able to build really quickly, and we see just Sweden in general being able to build very nicely. And Grandma's going direct hit, apparently somebody says in Source TV chat, really to shut down that sentry more. Rue takes it down anyway, and I presume Team Sweden will probably start falling back. Yeah, the engineer's already setting up on third, which is a really smart choice. But I mean, they have 4 minutes 42 left. They have a bit of time.
Yeah, there was no way in hell they could set up on second, of course. Falling back was the most logical choice, but will they have time? It looks like the sentry is going to be up and running at level 3 before Blue even gets into contact with them. And right now it's an Uber advantage for... No, Muffins drops! The stickies are too strong, to say the least. Muffins is dropping left, right, center, up and down. This is not a good thing for Finland, to say the least. If they keep this up, they will never be able to get to that final point. We see Sweden just going ham. We see another, a nice headshot coming out as well there. And the kills are just racking up. Casualties are falling down. This is not a good time. They don't even need the sentry right now. They don't even need to fall back to their third point. They're pushing up all the way back to second at this rate. Holding out on that famous corner. The sticky trap has been laid. We see a possible rocket jump going a little bit sideways as he tries to go up. The Uber has popped just to be aggressive for the fun. Once again, Muffins goes down. He likes to spend a lot of time on the ground, but it looks of it as it seems that Finland is just decimated at this stage. This is not looking good.
I'm not going to say that it's Muffin's fault that they're losing, but I'm not going to say that he's not playing a massive role in it. And maybe it's not his fault, you know, maybe he's just getting in bad positions at the bad time, and maybe Sweden's been able to take him down, but Muffins, man, he's dead the majority of the game. Like, there's no way that Finland are going to be able to do anything with their medic down for most of it, not being able to get that Uber, and so many jobs that have been happening is just really slowing down Finland. And Little Cedar's staying up, you know, even if it's going to be throwing Little Cedar around and not being able to heal anybody, they're still going to be able to be kept alive, and that's why they're keeping those Ubers. They're going to be able to hold really solid defense. And now Finland, they want to be aggressive, you know, they're peeking through house, they're trying to do damage, but they don't have that Uber. They don't really have any kind of reason to be able to do it. And now we're going to see the heavy. He's going to be coming in. They're just going to be spraying all over, and I can almost guarantee that everything is going to die right now. Muffins went down really early. Now shots, the heavy, the pyro, everything is dead. And Finland, they're not going to be able to push if them Saba up and the medic and the heavy, and it's
that was
it's just not going well.
That was nasty. That was even nasty. Thought that was good. That was horrible. The entire team besides Saba just completely wiped off this earth. This was not looking good. This is a clean match for Sweden. I don't think you need to be a brain surgeon to figure that one out. But wow, yeah, just coming back to the point that you were saying, that it may not be Muffins' fault. Of course, he is the center of attention. If he dies, he's probably going to bear the blame. But of course, he also has to rely on his team to defend him, and so on and so forth. So yes, I'm aware that it's not his fault specifically, but being dead most of the time has its consequences, to say the least. And right now, the consequences are that Sweden is just wrecking Finland apart, limb by limb. This is just nasty.
Yeah, if you just look at what's happening right now, the cart, seconds being capped, yet Sweden have this room. They have the room to be able to play so aggressively. Now Uber's are equal right now. Let's see how this unfolds. It's a heavy in the medic, sniper going down, Rue's getting a really nice body shot under there. The heavy jumps around the corner. The heavy for blue team goes down. The pyro's going to be able to air blast them back, but there's no brute force behind that. They're not going to be able to start pushing onto the point, and whilst they're going to be trying to, there's just too much damage coming out from Sweden right now. Now they did lose quite a few players there, right? Finland are going to be able to do a bit more work, you know, they're pressuring them out, which was really nice, and now they need to get on this cart. But just how much time has Sweden wasted for Finland? I mean, we have a sniper on the right hand side. He's going to be trying to get some picks. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe it'll just be a distraction. Let's see what happens. But Finland, they still can't push. There's a level 3 on third. They can't get onto this cart. They can't push. Sweden's just playing top notch right now.
Yeah, a lot of time has passed, even if Finland can break through. How the hell are they going to defend against Sweden? They have to realize that at this stage, it is looking pretty dangerous. I almost thought they were getting back their momentum for a second, but it seems that Sweden has that forced back already. Both Ubers popped. High ground, low ground. Seems that both Ubers are kind of being shut down on both ends, not being used all that effectively, if I say so myself. And right now, that bomb is still not moving. The sentry, has that sentry actually shot? Actually, talking about that sentry, the Sepper.
Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah,
look at it right now. Look, throughout this entire game, we've seen Finland just pretty much almost constantly wiped, and Sweden having like 9 or 8 players constantly. Sweden go down to 2 players. Everything's gone. Finland cap. Now this seems obvious, but Finland just need to start playing the picks more. They need to get the picks. They need to use their advantage. 9 minutes 45, and they're going to be trying to push on the last. I can almost guarantee that Sweden are going to be able to beat this time, unless something awful goes wrong. Because if you just look, like 3 players are down for Team Finland right now. One of them being the demo man, and one of them being the scout. So the scout can't push the cart, the demo man can't deal damage. The NG just went down, so any teleport is going to be completely out of the question. Now Zebasai and Nash kind of down, so they don't have a spy that's going to be able to roam around and maybe get a couple picks or scout out anything or scout out the intel. That's not too much of an issue. Zebasai, the heavy, probably a bit of an issue, but he's going to be up now. And the sniper went down, you know. Bru's going to be able to have a bit more room to try to do something, and there he tries to go for it, but the sniper shuts him down. It's just Finland. They're playing well, but Sweden's just too much above them. Both Ubers are exchanged. They're at this little choke. Finland, they're forced out. They multed so much more when they didn't need to. They tried multing in a scout and a demo when they only really needed to take in their heavy, and now the heavy's going to be overextending, and they're just getting shut down. Ashkan's trying to do a bit of work, and it's just players being juggled all over. Muffins is on 2 HP. He burns to death, or cheat, sorry. And this is just really sloppy.
Yeah, this corner is also a very tricky point to push past. Don't forget that, though. But the casualties for Sweden right now, though, look at that. Only 2 people alive, the sniper and the engineer. Will it be enough? It doesn't look like it. The bomb in taking out that sniper. However, that level 3 sentry still rocking the stage. Finland may capitalize on it. And as I say that, Finland doesn't capitalize on it. They actually drop a nice Gerardi crit there on that scout, courtesy of Ro. He doesn't need the headshots. He has his blade as well. That just looked quite ironic. Not even ironic, that looked funny. And it seems right now that Finland is just trying to make the picks, as you said previously, but they have lost their sense of teamwork. They're too scattered around. The map room has not been infiltrated whatsoever yet by anything. That could be a very nice and crucial point to push forward, as they tried every single different angle and failed so far. However, they now have a level 2 sentry up with a Wrangler. This could be very interesting to see how this turns out. If they could use this to their advantage, they may basically block everybody into their spawn. Salt is trying to do bomb-ins, but he's getting shut down because of that sentry.
Just look at the numbers. Like, it's 3 for 2 right there. So right earlier on in that push, I mean, Finland, they had like 8 players and Sweden had like 4, and Finland had a level 2 at the top of the ramp, but it's just positioning wise. There were 4 players that shut down almost the entire of Finland. And now the Uber's coming in for Muffins, but let's be honest, what can this do? The Pyro's completely air blasting them back, unless they get a lot of picks right now. And there's a level 1 and a lot of Sweden bunched up right now, and that's what they need to prioritize. They need to prioritize these picks and start pushing. Muffins went down, Little Cedar's got that 60%, probably going to be about 70-75% advantage by the time that Muffins is going to be starting to heal again. And, you know, down, 2 players up. It's the NG and the Soldier. The NG is going to be trying to get onto the point as well. Pyro's going to be trying to do some work. There's a level 2. Even though it's on fire, that's going to be doing insane amounts of work. And I'm calling 14, 15, possibly even 16-minute time on this map. Even, probably, they may not even cap it just because of how much they're just throwing corpses onto the point and nothing's coming out of it.
Yeah. Zeb Russian father is making headshots happen left and right. He has been able to take out that heavy, the Pyro, pretty much everything that has a power class, well, vibe to it, down with little to no problem. He is making it happen. If you look at the kill feed, he is getting headshots every 10 seconds. He is decimating, and, well, Finland on his own by the looks of it. Beautifully. They are trying to do some bomb-ins, but they're failing. The heals are too strong. They're trying to engage through the map room as well. At least the sniper is, but he looks like... No, he's going to take out the spy. Will he be able to snipe through the map room? I don't think so. Is he, though? Is he going to pull something off? It's sniper versus sniper right now. Doesn't look like it. The scout finally pressuring the sniper. Gets him! The Russian father is no more. And it looks like that Sweden, even though they're still alive... There is no pressure coming in from Finland. Another bomb in that's filled. The red Uber, however, is being forced together with the heavy, but once again, it's just completely wasted. Nothing really comes from that, but I don't feel like Sweden is really worried about that, as the blue Uber actually is from behind right now. Surprising. And Sweden actually has to fall back and do something amazing because the bomb is being pushed into it.
14 minutes 36.
This was a matter of Sweden being a little bit too greedy, I feel like, in their they overextended, as you saw, and then blue spawned an Uber behind them, and that was very interesting, but I don't feel like Sweden cared anymore to play for reals, because they just went for it.
Like, the third point, just so much. It just shouldn't have taken that long. There was no setup on second. That was just kind of pushed through. It should have been pushed through quicker than it was, but it was still a relatively okay time to push through onto second, because the setup was a bit iffy, but it is whatever, you know, they managed to do that. But third just shouldn't have taken so much time, and then fourth, it's just a lot of advantages that they weren't acting upon and not being able to push through when they need to. So, I don't know, I just feel like nothing's going to be happening. We actually see old grandma on Team Sweden running the rocket jump. I don't know if they're going to be going for some sick rocket jumper plays. I'm not even sure right now, but all I know is that this is just something different. It's going to be interesting. I just feel like Sweden's going to be able to take this.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. I feel like everybody and their extended family knows that. Look at the time that they have. They can crouch, I mean, not crawl, what the hell is that? They can crawl to the finish line and still make it in time. But Sweden is gonna have a fun time pushing through everything, as they actually already forced the Uber quite effectively with a nice bomb in. But it seems, though, that they are right now just holding on to their own Uber. Cedar knows that he has to hold on to it, because it's going to be quite important for that level 3 sentry, which is still up and has not been touched yet. Rao getting a very nice headshot right there, but has been taken out immediately after by Zerussian father. Once again, the headshots coming out big. I love to watch it. I'm not sure about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Blue Uber being popped, though. Level 3 sentry may be in a bit of a pickle. The Seps going out on the teleports as well. This could be a very crucial moment in time that Sweden has to break the reinforcements, to break the defensive line, and just crush Finland's defense. And as I say that, they actually just did everything that I just mentioned. So they're going to push this bomb with little to no contest to that first point and start claiming victory slowly but steady.
Yeah, I'm actually watching Old Grandma right now. I don't even know what's happening with Team Sweden, but we see Old Grandma. He's got his shotgun. He's sat by red spawn. He's got the NG, so now there's no setup on second. That's not a thing. Shots is dead. Old Grandma gets taken down, but now the heavy's distracted. No defense onto second because the NG got caught out by a rocket jumper soldier. Just mull it over in your head a few times and you'll really understand just how stupid that sounds. It's Mint manages to take down Jonas though, and we see a direct take coming out from Old Grandma. Who needs the stock anymore? They can use a direct hit or a rocket jumper. Who even cares? Sweden's got this. Like, it's just sloppy from... I'd say it's just sloppy from Finland, but I mean, if you just look at it, Sweden are playing to an extent a lot better. Like, obviously they're playing a lot better, but there's some things that are a bit iffy, but it's whatever, you know, with Finland. I feel bad for saying that Finland's playing bad, but they are. Just look at where they are. Muffins is down again. Alright, that's fine. You know, the medic's obviously going to die sometimes. They're going to be healing around the same time, though. Lil Cedar's only got about 10% advantage, but just look at Sweden. I want to see Sweden. I want to try watch everybody right now, just because of how they're going to push this, and I don't even know where the self is. Is there a sentry? I can't see a sentry.
I don't see any sentry. I think that Finland has just given up at this point. And they're just trying to DM and have some fun, because let's be honest, they're never gonna win this. So we're just gonna enjoy the DM frag fest that's probably gonna spawn. Like you said yourself, we have direct hits coming out, rocket jumping craziness happening. It is all kinds of fun at this stage. Still no level 3 sentry. We see a spy trying to get in from behind. Doesn't get anything. However, Rao still making a lot of nice headshots. Props to him. He has been taking names for himself that are quite impressive. There's actually a level 3 sentry up. My bad. It's a little bit further in the back. Surprisingly enough. It could work around that corner, but for how long though? For how long? We see the Ubers from Sweden coming out. Not that it really matters, because they're still gonna burn through everybody and their extended family without the Uber. And as I say that, we see the direct hit coming out, missing everybody. And it seems that he does pick up the Pyro. And of course the direct hit against the Pyro, bit of an issue if you try to compression blast, but there you go. It's just frag fast after frag fast. And right now Finland is just... Yeah, that sentry is just being crazy as well.
Let me sit here and let me tell you what needs to happen. They need a massive defense on both this point and the next point and last point. They need around... Basically, 5 minutes is what you need. We've seen it before. It can happen. It just needs to happen. And now Shots is taking a lot of pressure. And Lil Cedar is going to be grabbing that Uber soon. A lot of players are down for Finland. They need to get some massive defense on this point and onto the last one, because 10 minutes on last is probably a bit outrageous. But we've seen like big 5, 6, 7 minute kind of holds there, and we've seen big holds on this point as well, and this point is being held somehow. Now the sentry needs to go back up here. I know it's really close, and I know that it's probably it's going to be difficult to be able to do, but it needs to happen. So let's see where Shots is going to be setting up, because they just need to be aggressive. There we go. Shots is going to be playing really close, because they could fall straight back to last, but that would just completely reduce any kind of hold on this point. So there's 10 minutes left on the clock. Shots is going to be going straight back up into that window, setting up that sentry. Now, something about this window is it has to be a level 3 for it to be able to shoot properly. Level 2 can shoot a bit, but it just basically fires at the wall the majority of the time. So this needs to get to level 3 before it gets taken down, and it's already taking pressure. Shots is forced out of there. He's going to be rotating around to the top window, and probably just placing it there and probably wrangling it through that little gap. But there we go, they cap it. Now they need to hold last for 9 minutes. It's possible. Lil Cedar, I don't know if that was a drop or like 99% or something, but that was freaking close. And now we just need a big defense. It's possible. It's happened before. I just feel like Finland aren't going to be playing good enough to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's not that Finland is really bad, because they definitely have some oomph behind their playstyle, if you will, because they've been able to hold a few pushes and such. It's just that Sweden is better. So you don't have to feel guilty about saying it if you say it like that, I believe. Just to go back to your previous point. However, Sweden right now is just one giant killing aggressive machine that doesn't have any kind of mercy code in them. We see the demo just trying to jump in, go big, force the Uber right there. It's mental. We see an Uber advantage, of course, now for Lil Cedar. So in like a couple of seconds, they can push out with an Uber without any kind of resistance from a counter Uber or anything, if they so desire to do so. This is the iffy corner, if you will. I always find it to be ridiculously hard to get past this point, past this corner. You know, the sticky traps, the spam that can get through here is kind of horrendous if you think about it. And there's the blue Uber coming in. Will they try to do something with it? The compression blast keeping it at bay, but not for long though. As the enemy, the friendly blue Pyro actually forces the enemy Pyro completely out of the equation. And it seems that the heavy medic combo is able to, spray and pray as they actually go down. That was surprising. Explosions are painful, to say the least.
Zoob just walked up behind Team Sweden and took down the medic. That's Lil Cedar. Just let me just walk up. Saba sat around as well, and now we're going to be seeing Team Finland pushing forward a little bit. There's a little bit of hope. Like, I have about 99% of my heart set on, go on Sweden, you're going to be able to do this. But there's that 1%. There's that little bit of, could Finland bring this back? Could that be like some insane comeback that would be literally the match of the century? That was going to be really well thought. Basically, Muffins is on 100%, Lil Cedar's on 50 or coming up to 50. This is good news for them. They have that Uber. They don't need to push into the other team. Maybe if they can get the medic, you know, maybe they can use that Uber and grab the medic and maybe take down Lil Cedar. But right now, they can sit here. They can get the Uber. They can let Team Sweden just push into them and then counter Uber. And there's 7 minutes left on the clock. These holds have been known to happen. They can happen. It's just going to be difficult. So I want to see exactly if it can work. I want it to, but at the same time, it just doesn't seem probable. But it looks like the Heavy's going to be holding pretty aggressive with his medic right now, Muffins, and his team. So let's see exactly what happens. We're going to be seeing Ashkan actually coming up to the sentry, though. He's going to be hopping over it, I can almost guarantee. Backstabbing
can we
the
take a
NG.
moment? Oh, he fills the backstab, does get the sap off. Will it be enough, though? It looks like the sentry may go down. Nope, it does not go down. Beautiful save.
Oh, and it gets spammed out by Grandma. That was really nice. Really coordinated as well. Really well done. And the Uber was actually forced out of that as the Heavy was falling back. And the Pyro is going to be able to blast them back. So pretty bad push from Sweden. They're going to be trying to use the Pyro to just kind of push people back and gain a little bit of ground. Scout's peeking through from Mapper, but I don't think he's going to be able to get too much work done. And it still looks like Finland want to hold aggressive. 6 minutes left on the clock. This is ever slowly, by minute, we're seeing just Finland maybe being able to hold it more. That was some kind of battalion's backup, I believe. I'm not really sure what that was. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I believe it just kind of gave like mini crits to everybody and tried to get things. And I don't know, Finland, I want Finland to win really badly.
I would agree with that as well. That would be quite amazing if they could pull this one off, but they still have another 5 minutes and 30 seconds though. It is a pretty rough fight, especially against Sweden, especially once they get their aggression sorted. Because I feel right now they're just like messing about, because they have in the back of that, well, we practically won anyway, well, what's the point? So maybe they could capitalize on that, but we'll have to see though. Blue Uber is about to run out as the red Uber has been popped. Finland pushing back blue like nobody's business. Nicely timed that, but the sap going out again against that level 3 sentry. It's being fixed in time though. Unfortunately, it didn't go down this time. We'll see if we can actually have Sweden try and do some kind of flanking. The map room is still empty, so nothing going on in that department. And Finland's actually trying to move out right now, pushing, you know, bringing the aggression back to Sweden. So this is going to be very interesting. Maybe Finland's going to be the comeback kid. Maybe it's going to be the case.
I wanted to, really so much now. Like, at the start I was like, yeah, Sweden, come on. But no, Finland, 4 minutes 30. That's a freaking solid hold already. It's already been about 5 minutes, and they just need to keep it up, and they're holding really well. We see Russian father take down Rue, though. The sentry's in a really odd position. I mean, the engine's being focused by the sniper really hard, and the sentry's just going to be spamming completely over in the cart's direction, but it's kind of odd. And Lil Cider actually stayed up a little earlier on, just kind of to keep a little bit of an advantage, but Uber's around equal. If you just look at the players for Team Finland, though, a lot of them went down. So we're just going to be seeing heavy on heavy action. Nice heavy action though, spinning round, taking down the spine. He actually gets shotgun by its mint. And then now we're going to be seeing Sweden. They're going to be starting to push in right now. They're going to be trying to throw players on. They need to get that sentry down though, and as soon as the sentry goes down, there we go, sentry's down. A lot of players are down for Team Finland as well. Danman's going to be getting onto the points. Scott's going to be able to help him.
Zoop, though, sorry that I interrupt you, but Zoop, very nice rocket jumping skills into a bomb and on Lil Cedar. That looked beautiful. It was done with grace. However, this bomb is still being pushed as I currently have a pause. Close. Disconnect. I
think it's a pause. I presume it is. Unless they won and they shut down the server.
No, they didn't.
That's a thing that's happened before.
Yeah,
it's either
I know.
That or a pause.
It has happened before to me as well. Several times.
I'm not really sure. We'll wait until we can get a little bit of information on this. But, I mean, it's looking somewhat good in Sweden's favour. I mean, they're pretty close. I don't know. I'm not really sure. We're just gonna wait until we get some information on this.
Yeah, we see the people flying now, of course. It is
The server
pretty
crashed.
damn solid. It
The
looks
server
like
crashed.
It's a server crash. Tactical server crash, guys. Tactical server crash. Wow.
Oh, I saw a soldier move and jump, and look at the demo just ever dying. Jonas
Yeah.
constantly burning rib.
This is what hell feels like. Wow, tactical server crash. Anyway, wow. I still like Zoop's very graceful jump with his rockets, and then bombing in perfectly on Lil Cedar. That was beautifully done. But I think that the bomb was being pushed quite actively to, of course, the last point. And let's be honest, Sweden kind of has it anyway. I think there is no doubt about that. With another, what was it, 3, almost 4 minutes on the clock?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how much it was, but it was around that time. And Finland, it's so close. I feel like they could probably still do it. I mean, we see the Pirates burning Rib endlessly. I'm sure Rib would probably go down, and the Scout Hicks would probably go down as well. I don't know. I'm curious to see what happened, but the server crash, I don't really know what's going to be happening from here on outwards. We're going to try and provide you all the information that we can as soon as we get to know it. But right now, let's just admire Rib burning. I don't know, I'm just staring at Rib. I find this interesting.
We go to a break. Say that.
Alright, we're going to go to a little bit of a break right now, but don't go anywhere. You know you want to see the rest of this game. So you've been watching the Finland versus Swedish game. It's not over. Sit back in your seats. Go take a toilet break if you must. Come back for the last couple of minutes to see exactly who can take this round of Badwater. Hello and welcome back to Blackout Gaming TV. Sorry about the little bit of an interruption right there, but we are back on payload Badwater. We saw Sweden, they took the first round. We were also close to the last part of the second round. Was Finland going to be able to get some sick defense for 10 minutes on last, or were we going to see Sweden roll straight through in and win the 150 euros up for grabs and that beautiful, marvelous third place spot in the ETF2L Highlander Nations Cup? Well, we'll never find out. I believe they're just going to be starting another round, which is kind of annoying. I presume that's probably going to annoy a couple people, but maybe this is going to be kind of like Finland's wake-up call, like, hey, we should have probably took that more seriously, because it looked like they were just kind of playing really sloppy and not taking it seriously, just kind of in doubt that they'd be winning. And then we also saw Sweden, they were kind of playing a bit silly because they just kind of assumed that they'd be winning, and I meant to say that Finland was going to be losing. But maybe this is going to be shaking it up, maybe this is going to make it interesting, but we are going to be going live in just a moment here. I'm not sure if they're going to like maybe play like gentleman's call and push all the way back out. I'm not really sure. It doesn't look like they are, so they're going to be going into this. Ace, what are your predictions for this round?
I don't think we can really have any room for predictions because it's pretty certain that Sweden is just gonna wreck face, isn't it? They have been, like, the very first round of course, upward, we saw Finland having a certain persistence, a certain defense that was capable of holding back Sweden to a certain extent, but beyond that, Sweden just, like, they picked up a few steamrollers and just they started rolling, you know? And I feel like this is going to be the same thing. Because how salty do you have to be that after getting so close, you tactical server crash? Like, what kind of effect does that have on a human mind, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And definitely the momentum that Finland was having right there is going to be interrupted pretty much instantaneously, you know? The Sweden had a nice amount of momentum at the same time, and whilst Finland were having some really solid defense, that's going to be thrown up or thrown out as well. So let's see what happens now. We're going to be going into this round very early on. Let's see if we can see any bombings. Let's see if anything absolutely extraordinary happens. But right now, I don't think it's going to be. We see old grandma juggle around using that black box, trying to jump in, but nothing happens like that. The Uber is forced by the pirate there, just walking in though. Muffins is going to have to use that Uber really early. The sentry stays up, but that Uber is actually forced. So Lil Cedar and the rest of Team Sweden, who are in fact on the offense side of things, are going to have complete control of this, and they are going to choose when to push unless something horrible happens and the Uber is forced. And there we go, the Uber is forced very early by Zoob, which is really nice. We're just going to slow this a lot. The stickies from here are just going to push them back, as well as the pyro. The sentry runs out of ammo, and I don't think the sentry is going to be going down, but that was some pretty solid Uber exchanges and Uber forces from both teams.
It looks like the sentry barely has to go down as the bomb gets closer and closer to that very first point. However, it looks like they have finally stabilized that, and they seem to be in need to get that sentry down before they can properly push up. However, it seems though that Finland is holding their ground vigilantly, which is a refreshing thing to see, because previously, well, Sweden just steamrolled over Finland, and now Finland is holding their own ground, which is a very good thing. If they can keep this up, if they can keep working together like this, it's going to be a glorious battle. Rao getting a very nice headshot. Another very nice headshot on its mid. He is taking names, and Lil Cedar goes down to a backstab by Saba. That spy dropping the medic, wonderful. And it looks like this game is completely turned around skill-wise almost.
Yeah, Finland's playing pretty confidently on this first point. Just really nice picks, getting them when they need to. Now the scout manages to suicide onto the point and manages to grab that first one, which is it's gonna work a little bit. You know, it's gonna throw them off a little bit. But I don't really think that's going to get pushed any further whatsoever right now. We actually see the engineer, he fell off the cliff. I believe he got pushed off by a rocket, or he just derped off and fell off. But the sentry is kind of stood alone right now, really open to spam. It is actually being wrangled and it runs out of ammo. You're going to have to walk back up, but it actually gets sapped, sorry. So does the dispenser, gunned down. And that's the sentry down. And now we need to see some movement from Sweden, or else this is just going to turn into a game for Finland.
Vigilant attempt right there by the Red Scout trying to go for the medic, but he kinda chew a little bit off, well, more off than he could chew, I should say. That's a really weird way of saying that particular saying, but the gist was meant. The Ubers are popped on that high ground. Blue versus red. Looks like blue's gonna run out first, and they are going to feel the pain as the heavy starts flying. And it looks like Finland is gonna hold. Nope, I retract my statement. Sweden is gonna push through and, well, completely neutralize that high ground, and they're gonna push up that point quite effectively, moving on to that third point already. I mean, we're going quick as well. Finland holding out that first point quite well, but second, surprisingly quick. We'll see how third goes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy about how Sweden are playing right now. They were kept aggressive. Like, they have ×3 on the cart, which is as fast as it's going to go, and they already moved really aggressively onto third. So there's no setup on third. Third is going to be a free point for Sweden, and now all they need to do is just spam around this corner and just get some work done. So it took them 3 minutes for the first 2 points, and now they're just going to be pushing this round. They're already spamming around the corner. They have a level 2, oh sorry, Finland have a level 2 really far back, 3 minutes 43, so it only took them an extra 40 seconds from second to third, which is something we haven't seen this game at all. We see a direct hit soldier trying to bomb in, but I believe he actually got one of his rockets reflected, and nothing came out of that. Muffins actually went down though, sorry, something did come out of that. The sentry also gets sapped, and the engineer is barely able to save it, and that is on fire and extremely burny right now. And a lot of players are down for Sweden. Maybe they got a bit greedy, maybe they got a bit ahead of themselves, and this is maybe an opportunity for Finland to push out a little bit, but they waited a bit too long. They have the players now, and now it's just going to be the good old Badwater stalemate. Who can get the pick, who can get the Uber, and who can push?
Yeah, welcome to the final point indeed. It's probably pretty smart that they didn't push forward and just backed off and made sure that the defenses were okay. Rao getting a very nice headshot on the enemy sniper. He's winning the sniper battle this particular match, or round I should say, which is a very good thing because the Russian fighter was staking his face constantly in the previous matches, so definitely stepping up his game. As we see the map room being infiltrated, will it turn to anything? Nope, the scout backs off because he does see the level 3 sentry, which is up on the usual spot as we saw previously as well. Blue Over being used, will it turn into anything? No, it has run out. That tasty force though, it seems that Muffins has gone down there. And currently the Uber advantage being slowly built up for Cedar once again as the bomb gets awkwardly close to that final point.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have that Uber, but they got the medic, and they had that advantage to start pushing, and they're using it really well. They have the mini-sentry. The mini-sentry's doing a lot of work. The heavy went down somehow. I'm not even sure how that happened. But Muffins went down again. There was no reason for Muffins to jump on that point right there. Heavy's going to be jumping down to try clear it up. It's just the Heavy and Zoob alive. Zoob's on 50 health, though, and the Heavy's going to be burning down. We just need some movement onto that cart before the respawn wave comes in a couple of seconds. The Heavy's going to be going down 10, 7, 4, 1. That's the wipe. That's the push. That is 5 minutes 42, and that is one heck of a time to beat.
Beautiful reflector also by the pyro onto that soldier. Wonderful. That also counting. How does it work, Haydn? Who knows? That was a quick match by Sweden. As I said, they steamed up their steamrollers, and they're going quick. Right now, it's of course Sweden on defense, if I'm not mistaken. Or am I wrong right now? No, I'm not wrong. Sweden is on defense. Finland, of course, going to push out. We'll see how this particularly works out for them. Maybe Finland can keep the same momentum as Sweden just had. Even though I do predict that Sweden is gonna not allow that. What do you think?
Yeah, Sweden's defense has been absolutely insane throughout this game, and I just feel like they're going to be able to keep that up, especially with that momentum. Like, that's really picked up the game, especially for me as somebody watching it. The game kind of got a bit long and boring and kind of tedious to watch, but now that's really picked up a lot, and I'm really excited to see if Finland can bring it back, because it got oh so close last time. So let's see. We're going to see Finland, seeing if they can beat that 5 minute and 42 second time.
Yeah.
With Sweden on the defensive side of things, let's see how this round goes. Russian father goes for the shot, but misses. The engineer goes for the shot on the scout and misses that one as well, but it's okay. He's going to be able to either do a little bit of damage or just provide a bit of a distraction. As I say that, he gets a nice shot on 2 shots. How coincidental. And he actually gets taken down by the Heavy lower, or Heavy underneath there. Muffin's still sat in spawn, making sure that he doesn't lose that, or she, sorry, doesn't lose that Uber anytime soon. And they're just going to be pushing this cart through the tunnel.
7-7 was going for that level 3 sentry, and he almost has placed the Sapper, but that Pyro, that Nair Jordan, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, the red Pyro, did a beautiful compression blast. That was wonderful to watch. I'm not sure if you guys have caught that, but that was beautiful. It looks like Finland is trying to approach through the open path and it's not gonna look very good. Rao does get its min down with a beautiful headshot. The engineer is down. If they can do some damage, it may drop, but will it be enough? Yep, it will. The sentry gun, the mini sentry with the Wrangler, taking out this big brother, the level 3 sentry, and it's going great. The engineer can't rebuild currently as he did drop himself. The bomb getting awkwardly close to that first point, but it seems that Sweden doesn't really need that level 3 sentry to be able to hold this first point to begin with.
Yeah, they've already gotten a massive 1 minute and 20 seconds off the point, which is generally the time for the first capture point in this. We've seen it earlier, go up to around 3 minutes for the first point. It's something that could happen again. I feel like Sweden are going to be able to really solidly hold this, and it depends on where the engineer is planning on going. I believe Itzman is going straight back up to the roof. I mean, they just lost players. They got their medic out alive, though, which is important and key, and Itzman's going to be able to get up on top right now. He does actually take a headshot, and he gets taken down by the demo man, though, and the sentry. That is absolutely crucial. And now we're going to see Finland. They're pushing through this point. Muffins went down. And Lil Cedar actually managed, I believe, got an Uber saw and managed to grab that Uber right there. That was solid. Kept the players alive, kept the medic alive most importantly, and that is going to allow Finland the second point. But there's 3 minutes 30 left on the point. It's a doable time. Let's see how this happens. I want to see where it's mint. So.
Yeah, he's going to set up at the window as usual. We have to wait until it's a level 3 sentry before it really becomes, well, effective. And without good stickies, that sentry is not gonna go down most likely. And if the Swedish aggression stays like this, they won't even have a chance to bring it down. We'll see though. Time will tell. The Uber advantage right now for Cedar, so they might be able to push it back as well. If there is an aggression that comes out, that may affect their defense, but it doesn't look like it, as the casualties for Finland are, well, piling up. Sweden getting a little bit too aggressive right there. The heavy with the medic combo dropping in right next there to the red heavy. He died in less than a second. That was a bit of an interesting decision, but there you go. Finland not pushing forward. They're waiting for their team to group up. We see some potential headshots coming out. It doesn't really turn into anything beyond a mere body shot. The Uber has been dropped. Where did that demo go? That demo went flying, if I'm not mistaken where he went. Heavy backing off. There is the demo with the stickies. Like I said, it's only a good demo that can take it out. The Sepper has been placed as well. The engineer is unable to save it. And the spy gets away as well. Invisibility, it's hard to see. And yes, that was an intentional pun. And it looks like Sweden is going to be able to hold this third point, even without a sentry. A nice potential bombing right there by Zoop. Gets 2 people. Ashken and Lil Cedar drop because of a wonderful action there by Zoop, but will it be enough though? Will it be enough?
Yeah, we'll definitely see if it is going to be just what they need, but really I don't think it's going to be. I mean, they're just going to be able to hold this really solidly. We just saw players from Finland going down, and while Sweden is still going to be able to stay up, Zebasai's eating that sandwich so many times. I've seen him eat it twice really quickly, and Rue takes down Lil Cedar though with a really solid headshot from that lower area. I don't understand how he didn't get caught out. That was a sick headshot. And now we're going to see Zebasai. He's going to be playing roaming heavy for a little bit. He's going to be going up close. There's something like that a little bit there for me. But 1 minute 20 on the clock. It is a time that can happen. There's only 3 players up for Sweden. The medic respawn. Muffins is going to be respawning now. It's the engineer and the medic up for Team Sweden. This is going to be clutch. They need their respawns. There's no way they're going to be able to set up level 3 because they're already going to be coming into last. And I actually saw shots taking, Min taking a lot of damage there onto 5 HP. So the defense is going to be a little bit off. Lil Cedar actually goes down.
Once again, because of a beautiful headshot of the blue sniper, of course. 45 seconds on the clock. Will it be enough? I don't think it will be, though, because Finland just got pretty much decimated.
Yeah, it's just picks all over constantly. I just Sweden playing top notch, and there's 30 seconds left on the clock. It's still possible. This is the time where Finland are going to get really excited, and they're going to want to go for some insane picks. And now I want to see Ashkan. I want to see if he can get any power classes down. I don't even think there's time.
Nope. 4, 3, it's about time. 2, it's getting close. 1, and it looks
GG.
like Sweden. It's GG. Wow.
That concludes the cast. Throughout this entire thing, I was somewhat annoyed at how Finland was playing, but it was also very interesting to watch. So Sweden are our third place winners. They are going to be taking home €150 tonight. And congratulations to them. GG Finland as well. They played very well at the same time as playing absolutely atrocious. But I probably shouldn't have said that. Let's just piss off some more people. But thank you so much for watching here at Blackout Gaming TV. Mine has been Haydn. Joining me tonight has been Ace. We've had high GPS on the cameraman sitting with us throughout this entire treacherous game of server crashing and just a very long-winded game, especially like the 14-minute round. Sorry, but that was a good game. Ace, do you have any last words?
Wow.
That's one word. That's not word. That's one word, not words.
Well, it's just like the annoying thing is the thing that frustrates me the most is that at the end Finland got their shit together and they started pushing, but they just didn't have enough time to get the bomb to the point. They were just too late. Like the problem was that Finland I felt like they were too scattered. They didn't feel like a team. Does that make sense? Am I being weird right now? I'm probably being weird right now, but that's what it felt like. And at the end they got their stuff together and they beautifully decimated everybody under the sun, and then they just ran out of time. That was awful. Interesting watch, though.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game to watch. It did become somewhat sloppy throughout that game, but they really picked up at that last second there. So thank you for watching and choosing Blackout Gaming TV. Feel free to go ahead and check out all the links around. I believe there's links in the chat, but don't hold me against that. There's links down below. Go ahead and follow the stream as well so you can be notified when this channel is going to be casting again. My name's been Haydn. We've had Ace co-casting, we've had high GPS on the camera, and I will see you all in the next one.